Brian did not hesitate when somebody needed him.
Now at 11, honoring fallen Beech Grove police officer Brian Elliott.
When they knock the door, I just hear the fires.
Elliott and a fellow officer shot Monday in the line of duty. Now a community is coming together.
I just want to come and give my respect to the Beech Grove Police.
Tonight, the growing memorials and support for a man who died serving the city he loved.
Officer Elliott gave his life for us. He fought for us, and we have to honor his service.
Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock. Tonight, we are seeing this incredible outpouring of generosity from the people in Beech Grove stunned by the loss of Officer Brian Elliott. The second officer who was shot last night is now out of the hospital. Police say Officer Elliott was killed just doing his job. Tonight, we've got team coverage for you of the circumstances and the signs of support around the city. Our Logan Gay is getting new insight for us tonight into these kind of police responses. But let's begin with Alex Almanza, who's live at the Beech Grove Police Department. That's where people have been dropping off flowers and messages all day. Alex?
Yeah, and it's only growing, Scott. As you can see behind me on this squad car in front of Beech Grove Police Headquarters, it really paints a picture of the Beech Grove community. A lot of town residents telling me that they know a lot of the officers by name, including Officer Elliott. And ever since his end of watch just over 24 hours ago, they say the support is nonstop. Beech Grove, a city within a city. Nearly 15,000 people, but most nights it feels a lot smaller.
Oh, so sorry.
Number of families tonight, just one.
This is a Beech Grove community that everybody loves everybody, man.
A family learning what that really means. Officer Brian Elliott gave his all, but tonight the people he served are giving it back one flower petal at a time, including people who grew up with his parents, who sat in the same classrooms, walked the same hallways. Darren Short stopped by to pay his respects.
This is our hometown. This is, we're all like family, and we're here if anybody needs us.
As teddy bears, flowers, cards, and candles spill out onto the sidewalk, support is also spilling out beyond police headquarters. Lindsay Davenport helps run Boss Bunny Graphics right down the street. They're printing hundreds of these stickers in honor of Officer Elliott. For her, it was a question of what can they do that's more than just a social media post.
We wanted to give back to the community something to show their grief and help them mourn. It's just been devastated, and you can tell, and we're just hoping to help.
Help that goes a long way in a town where neighbors know and love each other.
I love him. He's like a son. The police department here in Beech Grove is like sons to me.
A big Beech Grove family. And that family here in Beech Grove is only starting to really begin the process of healing. And in terms of when we're talking about tributes, it's also the beginning of that as well, as many community members are going to be gathering here tomorrow at 6:30 for a candlelight vigil. Of course, it's going to be right in front of Beech Grove Police Department headquarters. And like I said, a lot of family members are kind of processing still the moment. And, this is only the beginning of many tributes and honors that we're going to see for Officer Elliott.
All right, Alex Almanza reporting from Beech Grove. Thanks so much. We're also hearing tonight at 11 from the mayor and police chief in Beech Grove. Both of them visiting the memorial outside the police department, and both of them telling 13 News they're grateful for everyone's kindness.
It's a dark day for our city, but I assure you our community is strong. We have sadly been here before, and we are grieving. Officer Elliott gave his life for us. He fought for us, and we have to honor his service.
Brian did not hesitate when somebody needed him. There was no hesitation. There was no delay in worrying about himself. He literally put his life on the line.
And we want to let you know anyone is welcome to help Officer Elliott's family. Tonight, there's an approved fundraiser for people who want to make donations. The Central Indiana Police Foundation works to make sure that all the contributions directly support the Elliots. We've got a link for you right now over on WTHR.com. And tonight we're also seeing how fellow law enforcement officers are helping the Elliott family and each other as they grieve. This is the Active Response Kit, otherwise known as ARC, a blue tent with room inside for officers and their families to take a minute, get some food and rest. All set up by the Indy FOP.
When they experience a tragedy as losing one of their fellow officers, we want to make sure that we take something off their plate that they don't have to worry about. They don't have to worry about feeding or getting something to drink. They can focus on their mourning period they need and focus on honoring Officer Elliott.
This is only the second time the ARC has been deployed, the first last November after the death of Delaware County Sheriff's Corporal Blake Reynolds. And tonight at 11, we're taking a closer look at the moments that led up to this tragic shooting in Beech Grove. Officer Elliott and the other officer wounded last night in that shooting were both responding to a domestic disturbance at an apartment complex near Beech Grove High School. We're told the officers knocked and announced they were police. According to the new court documents, Officer Elliott heard a woman screaming inside and then kicked down the door. That's when police say 47-year-old Kenneth Johnson fired a gun, hitting both of those officers. We talked to a neighbor today who watched Johnson try to get away.
He got down and was hanging from the third story and then dropped.
Police found Johnson hours later after a neighbor spotted him in a laundry room and then alerted investigators. Johnson is not yet facing formal charges, so until those charges are filed, WTHR is not showing his mugshot. Logan Gay joins me in studio tonight. She's been talking with a law enforcement expert about the dangers of this job and the work to protect police. Logan.
Well, Sky, you can see that this is an extremely difficult time for the law enforcement community. Now, I spoke with the former police chief for the Lawrence Police Department. He told me that domestic violence calls are some of the most dangerous calls because of the heightened emotions. Yeah. Retired Lawrence Police Chief Gary Woodruff says LPD knows firsthand how a tragedy like this changes a department. They lost an officer 21 years ago. He says it's something that sticks with you.
The Beech Grove Police Department will never be more united than they are right now, even in their grief. They will be united as an agency and as a community.
At the time of the incident, Beech Grove officer Brian Elliott and another officer were responding to a domestic disturbance call.
You know, they're highly emotional, they're highly charged. That just lends to the danger factor. We know that going in, police officers know that going in. You understand that. We train for those to minimize that risk, but nonetheless, that risk still exists.
Woodruff says those kinds of calls are among the most dangerous calls officers handle. The risk was evident Monday. I asked him about the moment Officer Elliott kicked down the door.
We call the breaching of the door there, of a door or any opening like that, we call that literally the fatal funnel. That is where somebody on the other side knows that's where you're going to come through, most likely.
Woodruff says both officers were doing exactly what they were called to do, and Elliott made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty.
You're putting yourself there to protect somebody who is in their moment of need, and that focus outweighs the risk that every police officer manages with every incident, but especially the unknown risks when it comes to domestic violence response.
And right now, Woodruff says the most important thing the community can do for the Beech Grove Police Department is to show as much love and support for them as they navigate this time.
Logan, thank you so much. And we spotted these billboards along Keystone Avenue near the Indiana State Fairgrounds tonight. They say saluting Beech Grove police officer Brian Elliott with his end of watch date, February 16th. Our coverage of Officer Elliott's life, service, and sacrifice continues online. There you can find an in-depth story about his work in law enforcement and the legacy that he leaves behind. Plus, any developments in this investigation and information on how you can support the Elliott family, all right now on WTHR.com. Angela?
Scott, just a few showers this evening, mainly across the northern part of the state. Otherwise, live Doppler 13 radar is quiet. However, we anticipate some redevelopment of some showers and maybe even some downpours and rumbles of thunder. You can see that happening just before sunrise. This is 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. You'll want to tune in to Matt and Lindsay. They'll have you covered with weather and traffic because we do think the weather will have an impact on traffic with the wet roads. We expect expect the steadiest rain to fall from west to east across the state from about 4 a.m. to about 8 a.m. Then skies will start to clear. We will end tomorrow with lots of sunshine and temperatures in the upper 60s. We are forecasting a record-breaking day with a high of 69.
Angela, thanks so much. A man convicted of murder in a drive-by shooting was just sentenced. Joaquin Harmon Segura was the oldest person in a group that fired at least 30 shots into a home on the far east side of Indy. Police tell us their target no longer lived in that house. Instead, they shot and killed an innocent man, 25-year-old Adam Hart. Hart's parents spoke today in court.
The loss of a child is got to be one of the hardest things you ever have to do. But the loss of a child in such a cowardly manner, there's no word for it.
As a parent, I can't describe really the pain that I feel every day. I was there when it happened. It's a memory that will not leave me.
Harmon Segura apologized to Rebecca Rausch, but also blamed his harsh upbringing. A judge sent Harmon Segura to prison for 46 years. 2 others were also charged and sentenced in that case.
Threat of severe weather arrives on Thursday. I'll cover the threats and the hour-by-hour timeline.